Hello everyone, thank you for taking the time to join me. I'm going to show you today how to set up field-based permissioning on a compensation form. I have Kate Jacob, one of my compensation manager, and as you can see there are many fields on her form. So let's say I want to hide some of these fields from her. So for example, if I don't want her to see the compa ratio, I don't want her to see the range penetration, and just for the purposes of a demonstration, I'm going to let her view the merit, but I'm not going to give her access to edit the merit field. So with field-based permissioning, I can go in and specify which fields she can and cannot see and which fields she can and cannot edit. So let's come over to my administrator. The first thing we want to do is to make sure that we have the right permission to edit the fields. So I'm going to go to role-based permissioning. I'm going to go to my super administrator or my system administrator. Under permissions, I'm going to scroll down here to manage compensation. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see a manage field permissions groups. Make sure this is checked to make sure that you have the right permission. So once that's complete, I go back to my admin tools. I go back to my compensation home. I choose the form that I want to edit. Now notice that the field-based permissioning is set up per form, so you could have different field-based permissioning for different forms. I go to my plan setup, scroll to the bottom. This enable field-based permissioning checkbox is not checked, so I'm going to check this off. Scroll down just a little bit more, and you can see these are the groups that I want to set up for my field-based permissioning. Notice you can set up more than one groups. If you have different groups of different permissions on the same form, you could have multiple groups. So by default, you will have access to select groups based on managers. You'll also have the ability to set up your own group. So for example, I can create a new permission group, and I can create new, and it works just like role-based permissioning. So I can have comp exclusion 2, and I can pick these people based on these criteria. So for this demonstration, I'm going to pick the custom group I set up in the past, and this is based on my user Kate Jacob. So I'm going to scroll down. Oh, let me check this. I'm going to pick exclusion for compensation manager because I do not want my compensation managers to see these fields. Click save. Okay, next I'm going to go over to my design worksheet. And I'm going to pick the fields. I'm going to click on the fields that we talked about, the compa ratio. I do not want my compensation managers to see my compa ratio anymore, so I'm going to click on that little eye. You'll see that it's grayed out now. I'm going to click on range penetration. So right now it's kind of a darker color, and when I click on it, it's going to be grayed out, meaning that she does not have permission, or this group does not have permission to view this anymore. I'm going to scroll down here to the merit. Now with merit, you can see that this field is editable as well as viewing. So I'm going to let her view it, but I don't want to let her edit anymore. So I'm going to click on that, and now that's grayed out. I'm going to click save. Meanwhile, I'm going to get out of this form. Okay, so this has been saved. Get out of this form. I'm going to get out of compensation altogether. It usually takes a few seconds for it to refresh. Not very long, but just a few quick seconds. Okay, I'm going to click in here. And as you can see, she can no longer see the compa ratio or the range penetration, and the merit field is now grayed out and she can no longer edit it. So hopefully everyone will be able to set up their own field-based permissioning from now on, and thank you very much for taking the time to join.